Dave, good evening. It's Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus. Look, the smart meters, they've been rolled out in Canada and North America for quite a few years now. And they've had problems with them. And a lot of people have got health problems with them. And in lots of cases, they've had fires with the actual meter. And there is a site you can go online to called Stop Smart Meters and play an actual movie called Take Back Your Power. And that movie's been shown around our country over the last 12 months, in quite a few places. And it's quite interesting, the problems that they're having. And there's doctors there explaining problems too.
Dave, who's behind Stop Smart Meters? Is it a religious group? Is it a conspiracy group? I mean, who's behind that? Can you tell me? I mean, what are their major concerns? A Big Brother?
Haven't got a clue. I went to a meeting in Tara, and it was put on by one of the eco groups, and the thing is, they say, well, we can read your meter from the office and save money. Well, with the analog meter, they've always been able to do that since about 1976. I think the analog meters were at a point where they needed checking because of their age. So they sort of think, well, you can use one of these meters instead. It might be more economical.
I don't think they can read the analog meters from head office, can they?
Well, I pointed this out in the meeting. The guy that was running the meeting said, I don't think so. And the guy stood up and said, look, I'm an electrical engineer, and he's right. We've been able to do that since 1976. And the old analog meter could do quite a lot of functions, but we've only used it for sort of ripple control and things like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So, so it's really interesting.
So, Dave, you're not going to get one? You're opposed?
I'm opposed. I've got some rental accommodation, and it bothers me because the actual meters are on the wall with where the bedroom is.
Yeah.
And I was watching on this movie, and a woman was there and saying, she's getting nosebleeds and problems because if you've got a big block of them, like you might have in an apartment, there can be a concentration of the effect of these things. And it's actually microwave that they work on. And, it's quite disturbing. Because they say, well, they only transmit energy or the message is about 2 seconds a day. But they don't say it does it in 150,000 microbursts.
Yeah, the type of radiation is emitted by phones, microwaves and TV towers. It can't damage living cells. It can hit body tissue, yeah. A study by the University of Canterbury Electric Power Engineering Centre found standing a metre away from a smart meter broadcasting at full power exposes you to less than 35% of the maximum limit for electromagnetic radiation, which is a third, which is a lot. It says in practice, smart meters are usually located in out-of-the-way areas of the home and only transmit for a maximum of a few minutes per day.
Yeah, in total. But in actual fact, it's doing it almost continually in small bursts.
Well, no, according to the man that makes the meters that spoke at the beginning of this hour, Dave, he said it relays the information at midnight for 2 minutes. And I have to take him as being...
Yeah, these meters, most of them are made in China, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like somebody here is making them.
Yeah, okay, yeah, take your point.
And the thing is, in Canada, they're now turning around saying, look, this microwave is pretty bad. So they're starting to pull out Wi-Fi out of schools and hospitals, realising that, they do have a problem with it. And the Canadians are talking about the 490 houses in New Zealand that are set on fire with smart meters. Well, I've never heard any of that information in New Zealand. 490
what, sorry?
Houses that have been fires. Apparently, they convert... there's a conversion of AC to DC within the meter. And
so in Canada, they're reporting 490 fires
that have actually set on fire in New Zealand.
Well, that to me discredits it all, because we would have heard about that, wouldn't we?
Well, you would think so, but then I suppose we'd have to check that out with the Insurance Council and say, are there any fires starting around smart meters? You know what I mean?
or get Snopes' website. They're pretty good for debunking. 23 away from 10 o'clock. The number, you know the number. Hi, Diamond. It's Marcus.
Hi there, Marcus. I just was listening to your radio, and when I was coming back from Whangarei actually tonight, and interestingly, there was some misnomers and some misconceptions. There was being debated on.
Sure.
Among them was EMS, which is the electromagnetic induction, or EMI, and there was some. I actually basically was listening to your laugh when somebody said in France they actually turn the red light on when the fire is becoming expensive.
Is it not true?
It is actually true. It's happening now, tonight, actually.
Oh, is it?
I thought you already was aware of this.
No.
Now, there are two types of basically plans. It's actually all to do with plans. Now, these crafty companies, I wouldn't say crafty. I wouldn't actually throw them under the bus just yet. But these companies, what they have done is to promote their products and services, and just to basically confuse the consumers, they have released uncontrolled and controlled power, basically. So there are two types of it, and that is there in every connection that has been done in, at least I know, Auckland and New Plymouth. I can tell you that, but not sure about the other places in the country. Now, smart meters, what they are is basically control the power that's basically going, control in the sense that you monitor the power going to your house. It's basically what this is, smart meter is basically a digital watch. So you can compare this in a layman's term. It is a digital watch versus an analog watch. Where your analog watch loses time, your digital watch is pretty bang on accurate as long as there's battery power in it, you know.
Okay.
So that's actually one of the things. Now, I'm actually surprised to hear that people are talking about Vodafone connection and there's radiation, microwave, and all those things. These smart meters have been tested thoroughly, and they have been studied by many scientists and engineers around the world before they actually were released to the public. Most of them, how they transmit the data is over the electric line itself. They actually send the pulse of data on the line itself.
That doesn't reconcile with the website I'm looking at for the Consumer Magazine. That they do say it goes. The type of radiation is the same one emitted by phones, microwaves, and TV towers.
Everything. Our TV itself. When you actually your Wi-Fi connection, your Wi-Fi router, it actually emits power. It emits radiation.
Yeah.
The radio we are actually listening to, it is a type of a radio signal. Radio signals are there with us all the time, every day, day and night.
But this type of radiation is the same as the microwave, and it can heat body tissue.
Look, I would say no, because
no. It's saying this is the health and safety from the website saying smart meters have been in the crosshairs of some groups, both here and overseas, often relating to claims that radio frequency electromagnetic radiation they use to communicate is unsafe. The type of radiation.
That's always the case. That's always the case. But you see, there was a witch hunt going on with mobile phones that you should not be having it on your, And then we listened to public basically saying, oh, yeah, it affects. And then there was a group of people that saying, no effect at all. You use it all the time,
But I think probably the jury's still out on cell phone usage, isn't it, as far as some of those studies and the studies that aggregate different studies? I mean, you can see conflicting reports about the safety of those.
Yeah, but just going back to our topic, actually EMS is something is always there. There is, we're always exposed to radiation all the time, as I was saying. And this smart meter is no different. It will be actually emitting radiation of some degree. But the thing is they have been thoroughly tested is what I'm aware of as an electrical engineer myself.
Yeah.
And they have been thoroughly. And the thing is, the other thing is there is not one kind of meter in New Zealand. There are several different brands of smart meters that are available just to make life complicated for everyone.
Yeah.
Now, there was a discussion about, that it will make our power expensive, which to a degree I think it is actually true. the analog ones, because of the age, the people are actually still using it. They're about 12, 13, 15 years old, and they're still, going around in circle with the ticks, what people were saying. Yes, I mean, it's every component which is mechanical in nature it will have wear and tear.
So why would you change if the older one's giving you cheaper power?
I have absolutely the justification for it is, number one, somebody pays always. If you are not paying for your power that you're consuming, somebody is paying, and it's actually the consumer on the other end.
Okay, I've got to move on, Diamond, but thanks so much for your call. The number is 0880 1080. It's 18 away from 10 o'clock. Jennifer, good evening. It's Marcus.
Yes, good evening, Marcus. Very interesting to hear that you're discussing this issue. And you've got a letter, I understand.
That's
from
right.
the power company.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, well, as you've probably picked up, it is a highly controversial issue because there is conflicting information coming from different sources. And from my perspective, the source of the information is crucial to what you're getting. My understanding is twofold. I have had personal experience of these machines, and also I've done quite a bit of research.
Okay, start at the beginning, Jennifer. How did you become aware of them? What happened to you?
First time I became aware of the effects of smart meter with Wi-Fi was when neighbours got one put in their home, and very quickly I became unwell, very sick actually, with a cluster of symptoms I've never had in my life before.
Were you aware they had a smart meter?
Yes, I actually saw the guy install it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'd never had any problems with any other Wi-Fi emitting device before in my life ever, until the smart meters arrived in our district. And ever since then, Marcus, I have been having a recurring hell because I've discovered that they make me very ill, and if I go into certain shops, other people's houses, if they've got them, I can become quite ill quite quickly with the same cluster of symptoms, which is threefold. One is great head pressure on top of the head. I've never had headaches like that before. Plus, combined with that is nausea. Sometimes it's so strong that I've been on the point of vomiting. Very strong nausea, plus dizziness. All comes together, bang.
So you could walk into a house straight away and tell me whether they've got a smart meter there or not?
It depends if it's emitting and radiating. I can be in a house and it's okay. As soon as it starts radiating, then I notice it.
But doesn't it only irradiate at midnight?
No, that's part of the misinformation. That is not correct. All the independent studies who've done testing on them, who are not industry based and not government biased, are showing and demonstrating that these things go off throughout the day. It is a nanosecond burst, so it's very, very short, but it's extremely powerful. And yes, it might add up to a total of 2 minutes, but that is spread out over the 24 hours.
Because the guy that I spoke to that said he involved with making them said it goes for 2 hours a day about midnight, so there's misinformation there. Where did you end up living, Jennifer? Have you moved to the country, or where can you get away from the Wi-Fi?
I can't, Marcus. It's an ongoing issue for me. What I have found that has helped mitigate is that I've tracked down a number of EMF protection devices, which actually have been quite a bit of help to mitigate things, but it's still an issue, and it comes and goes and comes and goes. And interestingly enough, the only time that I've ever experienced the Wi-Fi power from laptops, cell phones and other things was once, and that was when I was riding in the train at rush hour, and I was surrounded with people crammed in, and it seemed like everybody got out their little Wi-Fi handheld device except me, and they were all going, and suddenly I was getting the same symptoms as what I get round smart meters.
So what do they put around your house? If they put a Faraday's cage or something around your house, what do they put? They put wires.
I have a quantum physics device that actually stabilises the chaotic field.
Okay. But you can't go move to the... Are you able to move to the country?
No, I'm not actually. I'm not in a position to make those choices at the moment, no.
And Jennifer, how many people have you got in touch with that are having similar effects like you are having?
I know several personally in the district, and I have read of many, many others online, and they're all getting ill with these machines. Because my understanding is that consistently independent testing clearly shows that they are far more powerful emitting devices than cell phones as a rule. And are you aware that Wi-Fi is currently now a Class 2B carcinogen classification?
Yeah, someone's mentioning that, but look, that's probably a discussion that's too broad for us today. We're talking smart meters, but look, I appreciate your call and your honesty. 12 away from 10 o'clock. The number is 0800 80 1080. Fabian, good evening.
How are you?
Yeah, good, mate.
Yeah, good. Just to help you out with your smart meters, I actually work in the industry on a side issue. I'll tell you that smart meters are actually very, very clever, and the reason why is that a lot of people don't realise that they don't turn their appliances off, like their TVs and their little digital things off at night, and that's why it's reading it. I've been in the industry for quite some time.
So what do you mean about the appliances?
Well, the whole thing about smart, I think people are getting a bit paranoid. The first thing is that the power companies, your energy retailers actually own the meters on your meter board. Yep. So they actually have a legal right to change them. So if you go from your analog back to your digital, which is the smart meter, they actually have a right to actually change those. I think it's just a fluffy thing that they talk to customers and say, well, we'll come back another time, but eventually they will be changed because I actually do this every day in my job, and just about every place I go to has got a smart meter on it, from the elderly people to new homes and everything else. So it's technology, and it's good. Why people are worried about from going from the old analog to this new smart meter is the fact that it's the analog. They take a reading and then they go back over to the smart meter, and suddenly they get a big power bill. But if over time it actually works itself out. And one of the advantages is that you don't have...
Why are your initial bills higher?
Basically because I'm changing from an old analog meter, right? So what happens with an old analog? It doesn't actually record all the loads going on inside your house, because everything inside your house now is modern. It's all digital, like your TVs and everything else. Okay, so it records everything. Okay, where an old analog didn't, the disc didn't spin if you just left your TV on remote control, right? You went to bed, just left the light flashing. It actually wasn't really recording that. What these do now is they record everything that you use.
As a percentage, Fabian, how much does your power go up when you switch from analog to a digital, with the fact that all these small readings are now been quantified?
The smart question to that is that you turn everything off at the wall. If you go to bed, turn everything off.
Yeah, but could you be bothered?
Well, this is what technology is telling you. We're recording...
If technology means that you're paying more for your power, but can you tell me what percentage more you're going to go up if you just actually don't change anything and go from analog to digital? How much is your power bill going to go up?
Well, I can't give you the answer to that, Marcus, okay? But what I'm saying is that if you want to stop this happening, is you turn everything off the wall. As you know, we're talking on smartphones as I'm talking to you now, and you're talking through your system. It's just technology. It measures everything that you're doing, and these smart meters are not out to get rid of the paranoia that's going on in this country over them. It's not. It's there just measuring everything that you're using. So turn it off.
But Fabian, there is paranoia about them, and like it or not, there are people concerned about them. I mean, and even the guy, you know, and if there's paranoia, they can manifest it in physical symptoms. So, I mean, it's something that you're not going to get rid of because, I mean, you heard that woman that, you know, I mean,
wait a minute, Mark. Wait a minute, Mark. Slow down. I mean, these smart meters are actually outside the houses, right? 90% of them are outside on the people's homes, right, on a meter board outside the home. So where are they going to absorb all this radioactive, you know, paranoia through their homes? I don't know.
Well, ours is not outside. Ours is not outside. Ours is in the bedroom.
Yeah, okay. So I said to you 90%, but most of them are outside the house. They're not going to absorb them through the foundations of the house, are they? Because I mean,
if they put a smart meter in my place, will they put it outside the house?
Sorry.
If I'm getting a smart meter, will it be outside the house, or will it just go where the existing meter board is?
It will probably go where the existing meter board is, I guess. You have to talk to your energy retailer about that. But what I think people need to understand is also that the energy retailer owns those meters. The homeowner doesn't own them. So eventually they have a legal right to actually change them.
I think I might get a windmill.
Okay, I'm just trying to, you know, just get through the conversation.
Yeah, no. I think it's a fascinating topic because because it's something and there's certainly certainly people that are paranoid and they're all loving this website. They go, have you had a look at it yourself?
Yeah. Well, all I'm trying to say is that people need to understand through the electrical industry is that the meters are owned by your energy retailer. The meter board is owned by you. And that's how it was. In the old days, you used to pay a line charge. You don't pay that now because the power boards don't own the lines going into your house. The power board or the power companies, lines companies, if you like, only own the power to your boundary. Everything else inside is yours. The energy retailers own what's on your meter board.
So is it cheaper if you're not paying a line charge?
No, well, they're probably putting it through the charge. I don't know, but all I'm saying, you don't.
I thought I might save some money there paying through line charge. Okay, Fabian, thanks so much for that. Hey, we'll save in until after the news. The number is... It's almost like there should have been a documentary people could watch about why, you know, that the power company should have put... They haven't done a very good job of selling them by the sound of things, but there you go. That's probably the way it works. I've never really understood from deregulation how the whole power energy thing works with line companies and retailers and how you can switch from one to the other. I don't really understand the technical issues alongside that. Anyway, and we haven't spoken to any meter people yet. No doubt there'll be meter readers in the next hour. As I say, if you want to text 9292, email marcus@newstalkzb.co.nz. Back soon.